kick off this call, Britt is going to record it for us. This first half of the call, as always, guys, 30-minute mark or so, we'll have the Emeralds log off, and then we'll dive a little bit deeper with our Diamond coaches. But this is an insanely special call. Keith Callahan is joining us, taking time away from his 5 kids, I believe you have, right, Keith? 5 kids, wife, busy life, and it's late there. So thank you for joining us. I heard about Keith, honestly, a couple weeks ago when Scotty Hobbs shared this book that came out, Build to Last, and I got this in yesterday. And as soon as I saw the title, I went to Amazon and I bought it. The title instantly was like, okay, I've heard of Keith before, but this is the type of business that I want to build and that I know our team is really focused around. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to message this guy. He's probably not going to message me back, but I'll just throw it out there and see if he'll come speak. And sure enough, within like an hour, he's like, yep, let's do it, next Tuesday. So thank you so much, Keith, for being on. I'm going to toss it over to you, and we're all insanely excited to have you on and have a little bit of your time this evening.
Thank you so much, Morgan. Can you guys hear me okay?
You bet.
All right. Audio's good. Video's good. My head's nice and shiny. All right. So, all right. I just need to get my bearings here. I have to start by sharing with you guys. So I'm an introvert, and I recharge being like by myself. So anyways, earlier today, so the book Build to Last is about building a business. What it really should be called, I think, and what I wanted to call it is becoming a leader of leaders. But I polled people and stuff, and it came in as Build to Last. Like that was the title. But I wanted to build a business giving me the opportunity to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. Like that's the type of business that I wanted. So I'm at my house. We just bought a house just outside of Boston, a new construction home. It's got 7 acres. And today I was with my family and a few of our neighbors. It was snowing out, and we were tapping maple trees. So we're tapping the maple trees, which means that you're like connecting these cans to the maple trees, and all the sap will come out of the maple trees, and then we'll boil it down and make our own maple syrup. Like that's what I want to do with my time. So have the ability to do that. But anyways, one of our neighbors likes to talk. Like she's a huge talker. And everybody wound up inside, and it was just her and I out we had a big fire going and everything. And it was her and I out at the fire, and we wound up talking for like an hour and a half. And like, I loved all of the conversation, but as an introvert, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need a few minutes just to go hide in a corner. For me, it's like sit at my altar. And then I knew I had these calls tonight. So I told my wife, I was like, do you mind if I just go to the altar for like 20 minutes? Because so I had an hour and a half call before this one, now jumping on this one. So anyways, so we had that hour and a half call, now on here, got my bearings, and basically this is the team-wide call, right? So this is the entire team, and then at 6:30 Pacific time, or you guys are Central, right? So in a half an hour, we're going to jump on, or the Emeralds or whatever are going to jump off. So if you guys are willing, would you do me a favor and type your current rank and your current goal, like the push goal that you're going for, in the comments? And Stephanie, I love that you have your little baby there with you. So cute. All right, so Emerald, Diamond, Emerald Strive for Diamond, 2 7. Oh, so this is all emerald and above, or are there coaches? All emerald and above.
Yeah, all emerald and above right now.
Oh, good. I can do my thing then. All right. Um, okay. So I want to give you guys a super abridged version of my story. Grow up, alcoholic father, enabling mother, alcoholism on my dad's side, alcoholism on my mom's side, and I drank a lot. From the time I was probably 15 years old till the time I was 25, to the point of like blacking out multiple times a week. From 25 through 30, kind of got my stuff cleaned up. Then when I was 30 years old, found P90X and got in the best shape of my life. But deeper than that, I felt alive and I felt this like vibrancy and got this twinkle back in my eye, right? Wind up signing up as a Beachbody coach, and it took me 11 months. So I believe that we all have a sign up date and a birth date in our business. Our sign up date is when we actually sign up to become a coach, and our birth date is when we give birth to this business, when we actually start running with it. I signed up, and for the first 6 months, all I did with my business was sign up 2 customers. Never really took off with it. And then I gave birth to this business. And from the time I gave birth to it, 11 months later, I became a full-time Beachbody coach. And now I want to give you guys another, hold on. I'm getting like text messages like crazy. So let me just shut this thing off. I want to fast forward. And this is where I'm going to grab your attention and you guys are going to be like, all right, now I want to know what this dude has to say. 3.5 years into this business, I went away on a spiritual retreat, and I was away for 2 weeks. So 3.5 years into this business, I'm on a spiritual retreat. I'm away for 2 weeks, no connection back to the real world, right? I come home from that retreat, and during the 2 weeks we were gone, my team had added 800 new coaches. So 3.5 years into the business, gone for 2 weeks, the team had added 800 new coaches. Here's the crazy part. When I got back, I didn't have a single direct message. I didn't have a single voicemail, a single email, nothing. Nobody had needed a single thing from me. And the reason for that was I had built a team of leaders. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. So whether you're a emerald coach, a diamond coach, and, I see everybody here, and like all these people have like big goals on this team. Like you guys are running right now and you guys are pushing right now. And I just love it. Here's a philosophy that was passed down to me, and I think it's going to make all the difference in the world for you. I'm going to give you guys a lot of high-level philosophy stuff because I think it's the intention behind what we're doing and the philosophy that you have that's going to make all the difference in the world. So here's a couple of philosophies that I think are very important specifically for Beachbody. Some of this stuff write down and keep it at your desk for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Some of it you're going to be able to apply right away. The first philosophy I want to share with you is the ranks that I think are important. I think Emerald's a very important rank. I think Diamond's an important rank. Next to Diamond, just put hustle. That's all it takes to get to Diamond. Just hustle. You don't need any more skills than you have right now. It's hustle. The most important rank in this business is 2-star diamond. Next to 2-star diamond, write out second business center. It's not because you get a 2-star diamond bonus. It's because you get to open that second business center. The next rank that I think is important is 5-star diamond. You get to 5-star diamond, it's like all of a sudden you get to go behind the curtain and you're like, oh, I get to be in the round table, and it's like Beachbody celebrity heaven back there. So you guys have probably heard all of that. Here's what made all the difference in the world. You know how I told you guys that I was away for 2 weeks and we had added the 800 coaches. I believe the most important thing that you can do in your business, and remember, keep this plan with you down the road. My goal once I got to 5-star diamond, the next 2 years was dedicated to building 5-star diamonds underneath me. That made all the difference in the world in my business. That was my number one focus. And what that led to was we now have a team with more than 25 5-star diamonds and above. Cool. When I first started in this business, there was a number that got planted in my head, and I think you really, what I believe is, when we're sharing tonight, what I would recommend is continue doing what you're doing, but what I really want to focus on is, why are you doing it? And what I mean by that, when I first got started in this business, I wanted to build a large organization. I got to see these people who I really looked up to, and you guys might not know some of these names, but Tracy Morrow, Pete Pena, Doug Fitzgerald, like people of real integrity that I honored them for the type of businesses that they built, but even more than that, for the type of humans that they were. And I really looked to them for that. So anyways, when I first started, I also noticed that these guys are making a lot of money. And they were making a lot of money, but they weren't the ones that were up on stage getting recognized for their big ranks. And at that time, that's when I learned that it was really about developing people underneath you. So the number that got taught to me and that got handed down and that I want to hand down to you guys was you're only looking for 5 people. And here was the second part to it. It was that you're only looking for 2 people if you want to make 6 figures, right? 2 people make $100,000 a year. So insert Beachbody income disclaimer right there. And 5 people will get you a business that you make 7 figures, $1 million a year. And so a lot of us, we see all these people and we see these goals and we see these like high achieving ranks, and it's overwhelming, and we can't comprehend that, right? And the same thing happened with me, but I could comprehend 5 people. And so I wanted to build a big business, and whatever your goal is, whether it's, as big as my goal, I wanted to make $1 million a year. And it took me 9 years to get there, like $1 million a year. But that's what I was able to do because my intention never wavered from that. And when your intention is there, so I had that intention for my goal, and I was taught that all I need is 5 people to get there. So now I have this goal and I have this intention. Now I can make decisions on what I'm going to do during my days based on that intention. Does that make sense? So I don't think you want to change anything that you're doing. So maybe you're running challenge groups. Maybe you invite to the business. Maybe you just share the products. Like, everybody does their business differently, right? Here's how I looked at it, though. So when I first got started, gosh, I really wish I had like 2 hours with you guys. There's like so much I want to get in here and so much I want to share. We all understand this funnel. We all understand the funnel of a bunch of people out there. Then we start attracting some people that like somehow we're in communication with them. Then it goes down to we're inviting them and we're talking with them. And, then it goes down to that they have a share cart, and then eventually they sign up, right? As a customer or discount coach. We all understand like how that works, right? And I understood that too, but here's what I want to just add to that. There's a second funnel. And the second funnel is I'm looking for my 5 people. And that second funnel is, okay, I have all my coaches, my discount coaches, and I have all my customers, right? And eventually I'm looking for somebody who says they want to be a working coach. Then I'm looking for somebody who says that, or who actually does work and signs somebody up. Then I'm looking for the person that I can get to Diamond. And then I'm looking for the person that I can get to 5-star. So it's a funnel within a funnel. Does everybody follow me so far? So here's what so many of us get caught up on. We see ourselves as Beachbody coaches, and we don't see ourselves as the CEO of our own business. A Beachbody coach thinks Success Club. A CEO, Success Club's automatic. Your vital behaviors are automatic. What a CEO is thinking is, I need a team. I can't do this alone. I need to bring in the other members of the team. And here's the deal. A CEO knows that a high-level leader, so if he can get the right high-level leader, that's everything to him. In Beachbody language, I would rather have one real leader than 100 people doing this like halfway in, halfway out. Like that's how valuable it is. So again, we're setting up, we have this vision of where we want to go with the business. The only thing that's shifting here is our intention, right? So instead of looking at this as I'm a Beachbody coach and my goal this month, here's what most of us think. I need to hit Success Club and I need to get some people to do this business, right? Like that's where we get caught up in. And again, that's not wrong, but we're hustling to find people, and we're hoping they're going to do it. And we're here, right? And we haven't a lot of times we get stuck and we haven't gotten that leader to pop underneath us. We haven't gotten that person to like really take off with this business. Anybody relate? Right? Yes, kind of in that. Yeah. So we have this intention, we have this focus, and again, I the way that I was looking at it is I was looking for 5 stars. That was like the blueprint. That was, I don't know how this happened. And I'll be honest with you guys. I thought everybody in Beachbody did this. I'm a shy person. I like to fly below the radar. I don't want to be up on stage. It's like the worst thing ever. I can ramble on a microphone like this forever, but it took me a real long time to get comfortable. And I just did my own thing. I was out there doing my own thing and, wound up building this type of business, but I thought that everybody was doing it. And my prayer and it's funny because I don't want to plug this book, but I do. And the reason I do is because I prayed for a year that this philosophy would get into people's minds and get into people's hearts. Because here's the deal. I failed at a lot of businesses before Beachbody. I've been in all different types of businesses. We have something special here. The network marketing model is special. It's what the network marketing model is for everyday average people. It's for your way out. Like it's your golden ticket. And I'm telling you, you're not going to get another opportunity like this. That's network marketing. Beachbody is network marketing on steroids. And the reason for that is because we have things that make people feel freaking good, right? We've all done one of these products or programs and we've done it 100%. And it's life changing. It literally is. It's life changing. All right. So we've got 10 more minutes, right? And then Emerald's going to jump off.
It's up to you, Keith. We could keep everybody on for an hour, if you prefer that too.
Let's just keep everybody on.
Okay,
Like,
let's
is
do
that
it.
cool?
That's totally cool.
And Emeralds, if you have to jump off, then you have to jump off. All right. But I just, like, everybody has to hear this. And, like, all right. So I promise you guys that I'll pull this all together. With, we're on, we're off. I was trying to go this direction, that direction. We're going to pull it all together. It's going to be of value. You got the big picture though, right? That's the blueprint. That's where we're going. If you want to build a business, if you want the freedom, like the freedom that this business offers, it's all about developing leaders. Here's what most people think this business is about. It's about doing it yourself and then getting downline duplication. Developing leaders is much different. You're getting this downline duplication, but you're looking for those specific people that are going to lead their own teams. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. I want to go through and I want to share here's the number one question that we all ask. Whether you're an emerald coach, a diamond coach, a star diamond coach, how do we find people to do this business and how do we actually get them to do something? Right? That's what we all want to know. That's what we're all here for. And I want to give you guys a 3-part system. This is going to be an abridged system. I'm going to give you as much as I possibly can. But it's what the book is about. It's what Build to Last is about. But I've been doing a bunch of these calls, and this is the best way I know how to break it down so you can actually leave here with, here's the goal. Over the next 40 minutes, what I want to do is I want everybody on this call to shift from asking the question, can I do this? Because let's be real, right? That's what's holding most of us back. It's you actually believing that you have the ability to do this. And what I want to do is I want to give you some information. So at the end of this call, the question's no longer, can I do this? The question's, am I willing to do what it takes? Right? Because the reality is that, yes, you, not the 57 other people on this call, you, hear it like from my heart to yours, you have the ability to succeed at whatever level you want to in this business, right? But the real question is, are you willing to do what it takes? Here's how it's done. The 3-part system to finding and developing leaders. Step number 1 is leading yourself. Step number 2 is positioning yourself. And then step number 3 is actually developing leaders, like nurturing leaders. So I've been mentoring people in this business for 9 years, and here's what everybody wants to know. Keith, tell me the things that I have to do to get to the rank. Like, I just want to know, give me the checklist, give me the A, B, C, D, and I'll do it. Like, I'm a hustler. I'll do whatever it takes. And then my answer always frustrates people, but it's the truth and it's what's real. So we can't get to the mentoring other people part until we take care of us. And so, Sherry, the 3rd step is mentoring people. So, mentoring, we'll call it that. So what do we mean by leading ourselves? And here's my favorite way to describe it. Let's say that you're an emerald coach, and that's probably not the best example. Let's say you're a diamond coach and your goal's 5-star diamond. What we all want to know is, tell me the steps, tell me the things that I have to do to get to 5-star diamond. Here's what leading yourself is about. Who do you need to become to hold the rank long-term of 5-star diamond? Because what do I need to do is a lot different than who do I need to become. The who do I need to become requires what I believe is real personal development. So here's the words that get thrown around with Beachbody and other network marketing. Read 10 pages a day. All right, you get your personal development done, right? Check. All right, we can check that off. That's information gathering. Personal development is a combination of those two words. You're a person, you're a human being, and you're developing yourself, right? And that's going to look different for each of us. It's going to look different for every single person. For some of us, it's letting go of guilt. It's letting go of shame. Maybe it's letting go of the toxic relationship. Maybe it's letting go of people that have been beating us up and have been unhealthy and they're not the best people to be around. Maybe we've been stuck in anger. Maybe we've been stuck in anxiety or fear or depression. Like, it's different for each of us. Maybe we have to go get a therapist and actually do the work, actually heal some of the wounds that are inside, right? Maybe we have to, it's just different. Like, it's different for every single one of us. But personal leadership is, here's what I think this business is. Like, in my little fantasy land, this is how Beachbody works, and it's been working this way for me for 9 years. We become the best version of ourselves. We share that on social media, and we help other people become the best version of themselves, right? Because here's the deal. If you, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're at like a 2 for the best version of yourself, you can't attract in anybody else that's higher than a 2. Like, you're capped out there. So if we're like, we want to know, just tell me the things I need to do. What do I need to post on social media? Give me this, what are the magic things I can say? And here's the bummer about this business. It doesn't work that way. Here's the gift about this business. It doesn't work that way. The gift of this business is the brighter, the shinier, the more healthy of a human being you become, the better version of you that you become, the more other people are going to be attracted to. Do you guys know who Haley Christian is? Most of you guys? All right, you got to follow her if you don't follow her. So Haley gets to Diamond, right? She gets started with this business, and she gets to Diamond and stays at Diamond. It was pretty easy for her to get there. Stays at Diamond for 3 years. 3 years! And she's stuck at Diamond. And here's the deal, and I know a lot of us can relate to this. She's doing the work. Like, she's out there, she's hustling every day, she's putting in the work, she's posting, she's talking to people, she's got her own transformation going. She's doing everything that Beachbody coaches are supposed to do. 3 years doesn't rank advance. 2 years ago, from January to May, she goes from Diamond to 7-star qualified. In 5 months, stuck at one rank, doing the work. And then goes from Diamond to 7-star qualified in 5 months. What changed? Because prior to that, she thought she was giving 100%. She believed she was. Some pressure happened in her life. Her husband lost his job. She saw him playing credit card shuffle at the cash register when they were checking out, and realized the financial situation they were in. Her whole story is she used to be a bartender, quit bartending. Well, guess what? She had to go back to bartending. Shows up one day, halfway through the shift, freaks out and walks out. And she's like, I'm never going back to that life again. I'm never going back to that life again. I'm never doing that again. What happened in that moment is Haley stopped all the excuses, all the victim playing, all the reasons why she wasn't succeeding, and she started walking through her own SHIT. And we want to know, like, what's the best selfie? Like, how do I pose this? How do I pose that? Here's the sexiest selfie. Stop like sitting in your SHIT and start walking through it. Because I guarantee you, when you do that, you're going to be irresistible, and people are not going to be able to, they're not going to be able to not watch you. Right? So Wayne Dyer has this awesome thing. You guys know who Wayne Dyer is? I love his stuff. So Wayne Dyer, he passed away like a year or two ago. He used to say that here's how we grow as a person. He goes, everybody has this list, and this applies to Beachbody, right? These are all the things that I'm going to do, right? We have this list. I'm going to get on this call. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do my workout. We all have this list. All the things we're going to do. He said, I'm going to make it easy for you. Take that list and throw it away. Make a second list of the things that you're not currently willing to do. He said, that list is going to be a lot shorter. But he said, if you understand the principles of leverage, the things you're not willing to do are the things that are holding you back from everything that you want in life. And I know this is uncomfortable right now, right? We don't want to go there in our minds. And here's what we all do. Oh, yeah, that's the thing that I'm not willing to do. But the thing that keeps creeping up, but you keep ignoring it, right? I'm telling you, take baby steps towards that. That's what's going to make the difference. That's personal leadership. Does that make sense? Like, does that personal leadership piece make sense, guys? I want to jump to the second piece, positioning yourself as a leader. Catch the principle of this, catch the philosophy of this. I'm going to share what I do to position myself. Your business looks different, though. All of our businesses look different. We each do things a little bit differently. You can take anything that I do and make it your own, but don't feel like, oh, this is how Keith is doing it. I need to change it. Just grab the philosophy of what I'm doing. Been a coach for 9 years. The first 5 years, I never had a single person come to me. I literally reached out and hustled to find people. You know, that's how I found all of my leaders in the beginning. I wasn't good at attraction marketing. I still am not that good at it. But the last 4 years, I haven't had to do that anymore, which has been nice. So I have two things. I only sign like 2 to 3 coaches a month. That's it. And I have a podcast called All About Beachbody Coaching. It's just a standalone podcast. And just picture if you were to FAQ something, like if you were considering becoming a Beachbody coach, what would the questions be that you had, right? So that's like a 30 episode podcast. I did it one time. And then I had a professional transcribe that podcast and put it into a like 30 separate blog posts. And she keyworded it and everything. The way that I'm talking to you right now, like throughout this call, that's the tone of the podcasts. So it's a lot about mindset. It's a lot about my philosophy on this business, like my take on it. So anyways, people find that, and usually it's somebody that's had an experience with Beachbody and now they're looking to become a coach. So they research Beachbody coaching, they're checking it out, etc. When they go to reach out to me, it directs them to fill out an application first. So the podcast is positioning me as a leader. The application goes way deeper in positioning me as a leader, as the one in charge. The application has questions like, Are you willing to embark on a personal development plan? Are you willing to read the books I recommend? Are you willing to have an employer-employee relationship for the first 3 months? Are you willing to allow me to speak truth into your life on the things that that you might need to fix in your life? Stuff like that. So again, massive positioning thing, right? I don't even care about the answers. It's the positioning that's important to me. So they fill out the application and it gets an autoresponder. We kind of all know how that works. One thing that I add into the autoresponder that's been working real well is I say in the autoresponder, I'm busy, I'm a husband, father of 5, but I really want to take time to talk to you. Here's my direct cell phone number. Shoot me a text message and let me know that you just sent in an application. So again, they're reaching out to me. They're doing what I asked them to do. We get on the phone. The gist of the call on the phone is, I'm not the best guy if you're looking for someone to teach you around a challenge group. I'm not the best guy if you're looking for somebody to give you all the ingredients in Shakeology. But if you want somebody that's going to help you to build a big business, if you want somebody that's going to dream with you, that's going to support you, that's going to love you and guide you, I'm that person. Share a cart goes out, they get signed up. Finally, we get to them signed up. They get another email from me, and this is 10 things that I want them to go through. By the way, guys, if you go to keithcallahan.com/book, everything that I'm sharing with you right now is all there for free resources. So there's like 10 different free resources there on the things I use for like this part of my business, on when I'm working one-on-one with people I'm mentoring and stuff. So I know I'm going through this quick, but you can grab it all there for free. Okay, so they go through the 10 resources. It takes them like 5 hours to do. Finally, we get to the point that we're on a getting started right call. So I'm out there and I'm leading myself and I'm walking my walk and I'm walking through my own personal SHIT and I'm walking in my power, right? And then all this stuff, when we get on the phone, the attitude is, tell me what to do. Like I'm ready, I'm willing, just tell me what I need to do, right? And then from there, I want to push them right away. And our goal is to get them to Emerald that day. Now, I'm not a magician with this. So the way that this works is for every 3 people that sign up, one of them will go Emerald that day or the next day. One of them, it might take them like a month. And then the other one, I never hear from again. It's kind of the way that it works, right? In general, like super simplified. We all want to know how to get our people to work, right? It starts so much before that, though. Like, can you see? So we said this is a 3-part thing: leading ourselves, positioning ourselves, and then mentoring other people, right? And what we want to do is okay, I've got these 6 people. How do I get them doing something? But if we're not doing steps 1 and 2, we can't mentor other people because they're not going to be inspired by us and they're not going to follow us. Does that make sense? I want to leave time for questions. Here's the mentoring piece. My mentor, I gotta just like randomly drop some stuff in here. The most important thing you can ever do for one of your challengers, ever do for anybody you're mentoring, and ever do for yourself is simply believing in somebody. The biggest thing my mentor did for me, I've had 2 really close mentors in my life, 2 really close men. They saw something in me before I saw it in myself, and they held that vision for me, and they would tell me it over and over and over again until I started to believe it, until I started to walk with it. And they loved me. Like, they loved me unconditionally. And as a mentor, if you don't get anything right, just get that right. So we get to this leadership thing, and my mentor, Craig, was an amazing leader of leaders. I talk about that a lot in the book. So he was amazing at this leadership thing. And he used to tell me, he's like, here's all you need to know about leadership. And he would take a 12-inch piece of string, like a little piece of string, and he would say, no, go ahead, and he would stretch it out, and he would say, put your finger on the back and just push that. And the string would sort of wrinkle up, right? And he would say, now take that same piece of string, lay it on the table, and put your finger on it. And then he said, pull. And he said, all you're trying to do as a leader is inspire others. And he said, when you're walking your walk, when you're leading yourself, and then you're positioning yourself as a leader, then you're just doing your thing, and you're working with people to inspire them. He said, here's what people think leading others. Here's how people want to get their people to work. He said, everybody gets it wrong. We try to motivate them. We try to do little contests. We try to, whatever it is. And he said that people don't need motivation. They don't need you to teach them things. When someone's inspired, like that word inspired, it literally comes from being in spirit. Like it's inside of you. And when you move somebody's spirit, when you inspire them, then you just have to get out of the way. You don't need to, like any leader that I've ever worked with, our work isn't about me teaching them how to sign somebody up or me teaching them the right thing to say. I just want to get that person inspired, because if they're inspired, other people are going to be inspired by them. So when we're living our best life, I'm telling you, that's where it starts. Work hard on yourself. Really freaking hard. If your business isn't working, if your business isn't where you want it to be right now, here's the easiest way to work hard on yourself. Do a program 100%. 100%. Because what happens, and if you've done it before, you know it, you get inspired by the results you just got. And other people are going to be attracted. But that's how you can get that momentum going in your business. It's like leading others. It really comes down to, and again, in those resources I give, when I'm on mentorship calls with other people, this is the step-by-step that what I'm doing. But I want you guys to catch the philosophy, right? We talked about the big vision, the big dream, what you can build with this, how you do it. You get those 5 people. Okay, how do we get those 5 people? We're working on becoming our best selves. We're positioning ourselves. And then as we're doing that, we're inspiring others to be their best selves. And how that worked with me, just some simple things. I'll throw some things out there. It was visualizing them not as they are, but as they can be. Right? That's hard. That's hard sometimes. But if you can catch, there's a spark inside every one of us, right? And maybe we need to start with ourselves. Maybe we need to start visualizing ourselves not as we are, but as we can be, right? And maybe we need to start talking to ourselves all day about who we're going to be. Because we talk to ourselves all day long, right? Don't kid yourself. You're not that far from the guy on the side of the street that's talking to himself. You're just not using your mouth. It's all in your head, right? So if we're going to talk to ourselves all day, let's make it productive stuff, right? Let's make it for where we're going. Let's make it for who we want to be. Keep that tape playing over and over and over, right? I have one more story. I know we covered a lot. Go back, if you found value in this, go back and listen. We covered a lot. We've covered a lot so far. And I want to end with one story. It's a 5-minute story. a lot of us have fear around inviting to the business opportunity and even inviting to challenge groups, right? 2 or 3 years ago, I was in my truck and I was driving and I was listening to a podcast, two of my kids in the back seat. The podcast I was listening to was Tara Brach. She's a meditation teacher. And half of the episodes are guided meditations and half of them are teachings on meditation, right? So she starts telling this story and she's telling it in the third person. So I'm going to do it the same the same way she did and tell it in the third person. And it's told by a boy who's a freshman in high school. And it goes like this. So it was the second week of class and the bell had rang and we were about to get out of school for the day, and we were at our lockers, like in the, big open hall, and everybody's at their lockers, and I got my books out, threw them in my backpack, and I noticed this new boy in class, and he was like, 20 lockers down from me, and he was real disheveled, and he was dropping his books, and like, he was like trembling like that, just really shaky. So it was really out of character for me, but I went over to him and, I went over there and I bent down and I grabbed one of his books and, I'm down there and handing it to him, and he's up there and he's looking at me, and he looked at me with these eyes that said thank you, but it was different than anything I had ever seen in my life. Like it was this like thank you that penetrated from his soul into my soul. And it was just really, it was weird. I had never experienced anything like that in my life. And eventually we wound up walking home from school that day. I learned his name was Steven, and we actually only lived a few houses down the road from each other. So we wound up walking home that day. And then it kind of became our ritual. We would walk to school together and walk home together. And this went on all the way, up until we were seniors. And it was amazing. Steven he was like the all-American boy, just like, and he grew into a man by our senior year, and he was just loved by everybody. And he turned into a good-looking guy, and he had this beautiful girlfriend all through high school. And he was a captain of the football team, and then he got a scholarship to Duke, wound up being the valedictorian of our class. And he wasn't like one of these pompous guys. Like he was just a great guy. And I looked up to him and I admired him just for the man and the way that he walked. So now we fast forward and we get to graduation time, and Steven's the valedictorian. So he's going to be giving the valedictorian speech, and we're all funneling into the auditorium, and I wind up sitting behind him, and the graduation starts, and we get right around to the point where Steven's going to give his graduation speech, and he's sitting in front of me, and I reach up and I put my hand on his shoulder, and he turns around and I tell him, how he's going to do a great job. And you can tell he's nervous, like he's really nervous about giving his valedictorian speech. And he turns around and he looks at me and he's like, thank you. And it was those same eyes again, though, like those same eyes that penetrated. And it wasn't just like a thank you. It was like from his soul to mine, it touched. So he goes up there and he starts giving his speech, and he starts talking about how graduation time is a time of reflection. And, we can reflect back on our parents and the role that our parents played in our lives and how important they were to us. And, he says some great things about parents. Then he starts talking about his teachers and the role that our teachers played in our lives. And he actually told a story about one teacher and how she inspired him to grow into the man that he had become. And he said, but the most important thing to remember is our peers and our friendships. And he said, I never want you to ever assume that you know what's going on with somebody, and never assume that. Just always act with a kind heart. And he said, when I first moved to this school, the reason that we had moved is because the previous school I was at, I got bullied, and it got to a point it was so bad that we actually had to change schools. And, I moved over the summer, and then I got here, and for the first 2 weeks here, it continued. The bullying started again, and it was continuing. So one day I was clearing out my locker, and the reason I was clearing out my locker was I didn't know what to do with my life anymore, and I was going to commit suicide that day. And I didn't want my parents to have, it was like one less thing for my parents to have to deal with. He said, as I'm clearing out my locker, I'm trembling and I'm shaking and I'm dropping all my books and everything's falling to the ground, right? And somebody came over to me and they picked up a book and they leaned up and they handed that book to me. And he said, in that moment, I felt hope, and I felt that somebody actually cared about me. I felt that somebody was it was like a completely selfless act. And I felt hope for my life. I felt like there's good people in this world. And so that's that's sort of the end of that story. Now this is Keith talking. So I'm driving my truck, right? And I'm listening to this podcast, and I had to pull over because I'm like sobbing, crying, listening to the story. My two kids are in the back, like, what's going on with, they call me Papa. They're like, what's going on with Papa? Like, he's losing it up there. And at that moment, I was like, that's the piece. And it's just like, it related to me with Beachbody, because all of us with this business opportunity, we're worried that if we pick up the book, we're going to bother somebody. We don't go out there and share this business opportunity because we're afraid we're going to bother other people. We're afraid they're going to say no. We're afraid of rejection. Even worse, we're afraid they're going to say yes, and we're not going to know what to do. But it's not about us. All we are is an intermediary plugging somebody into Beachbody, plugging somebody in. I'm telling you, like, that story's in the book, and I've gotten over 10 messages from people that have told me that because they reached out to somebody, that person didn't commit suicide. But we get caught up and we think about ourselves, right? And I know that's an intense story, but think about that instead of thinking about what if they say no, or what if I offend them, or what if they make fun of me, or what if they don't, we're looking for people that are looking for this opportunity. We're looking for people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're looking for people that want to change their lives. And we have tools for that. Real tools, not potions and dreams and hopes that aren't fulfilled. We've got the real thing. And even if you're in your beginning phase, you still have the ability to plug somebody in, because all you need to do is love them once they're plugged in. You don't need to know how to make up a meal plan. You don't need to know how to make up a workout routine, or all you need to do is love and support people. That's it. So get out of your own way. Stop worrying about all those other things and start being of that, like that light, that beacon. Grow into that person. Follow that dream, that whisper that's in your ear, because you have that. The reason everybody's on this call is we have that DNA, what my mentor used to call determined natural ambition. You know that you're meant to do great things in this world, and here's the deal. It's not going away. Stop running from it. Stop hiding from it. Stop thinking that those dreams are going to go away, because they're going to get stronger and stronger, and regret is going to get stronger and stronger if you're not taking action on it. All right, that was a little bit longer than I wanted, but I will stop there. If we have questions, if anybody wants to, yeah. Olivia, real quick, just go to keithcallahan.com/book and download, I think it's called My Welcome, or when you fill it out, or when you go there, it'll ask for your name and email, and it gives you a bunch of documents. One of them is the welcome email, and it has all that on there. Thanks, Marie. Would you recommend your book for a brand new coach or emerald coach? I would recommend. Yeah, I used to or I still do recommend The Slight Edge all the time. It's a very good book on philosophy. Like this book's going to give you the big picture. Like it's going to give you the big picture of what this business is all about. You guys can unmute yourself. Well, I don't know if you're allowed, if Morgan or whoever is running it, if Brittany gave you permission to unmute yourselves.
You guys now are able to unmute yourselves.
Or if somebody else wants to read these questions, there's like things flying in. So
sure, I can moderate them if you want here. Okay, so you answered that one for Brittany. Alex asked, when you talked about the list, is this business things you haven't done?
do you want to unmute yourself, Alex?
Like when you were talking about write down the things that you're not currently willing to do, were you speaking on like, can you dive more into that? Like business things that you feel like you're pulled to do, but you just like something stopping you. Like what did you mean exactly?
Usually when I'm working with people and we get to certain points, I pull things out of them that's really holding them back. And then I recommend them to go to a therapist to work through those things. So it's usually actions that we're not willing to take. Like I don't want to go live on video. I don't want to like we're petrified of stuff like that. I don't want to do a program 100%, things like that. Or it's not looking at a wound that needs to be healed. Does that make sense? So yeah, really, like my job as a mentor is to try and uncover those wounds and then make a suggestion. Usually I can't help with it. Like I can help uncover it and help someone to realize, okay, I need to do something about this. And then I'll usually suggest somebody that might be able to help them better than I can help them with that. Or it's like, are you doing your vital behaviors every day? You know what I mean? We're willing to jump on all these calls and do this and that, but are you doing your vital behaviors every day?
Yes, his book is on Amazon. For those of you, that was a question. Yeah. And I had a quick question actually too. When you mentioned when you're talking about that big overarching goal of those five stars, you're referring to personally sponsored or within the organization?
Just within the organization.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's so important. Volume doesn't discriminate. You know, if somebody's like 30 levels deep and they're a rock star that I can, really develop, I'll work with that person. I'll talk to that person every single day, for a year.
Absolutely. Some people thanking you. Stacy asked, what is your rank, Keith?
I have to say this because I think it's important. 10-star diamond, but paid 10-star diamond. That means like fully maxed out on the first business center. So, and just to add another thing to that, Stacy, rank doesn't pay you income. I would say that probably everybody on this call isn't maxed at your current rank, or maybe you are. We have a lot of diamonds on our team that make more than 15-star diamonds. Because it's all about volume.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that. It's something I think I'm proud to say our team does dive into a lot of volume and income training like that, because it's been so powerful for me. Like, as you said, I feel responsible to pass on that knowledge. So I'm glad you touched on that. Okay, I think we're wrapping up with questions. Well, I don't want to take up much more of your time. I think all of us would agree that was phenomenal. Thank you for, I think I'll have to thank Scotty Hobbs for bringing up your book in our group chat, for taking the time to write the book, and for taking the time to answer my message and speak on this call. I'm sure you're very busy. This is a mindset, powerful said, is sometimes difficult to find in this industry or company. We can get caught up in the shiny things. So when we find this philosophy, when someone's willing to share it, it truly means a lot. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Morgan. And honestly, thank you for trusting in me to share with your team. I don't take it lightly, and I know that, it's like your family. So I appreciate the opportunity to share.
I can't wait to dive deeper into this. I know a lot of others will. I was impatiently waiting for the Amazon shipment. And thank you again, Keith.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful night.
See you.